Okay, so Donald Trump wants to eliminate federal income taxes. Is it possible? Where is the government going to get all of its money to pay its bills? Well, let's talk about it. This is the Hey Ed YouTube channel. I am your host, moderator, and all-around nice guy, Edward Anderson. Okay, so wow. Talk about a legacy issue, right? And I think that's what this is for Trump, right? Because he's not going to be running for another term, and he's thinking about his legacy. He's going big. He's not doing anything small. And one of his agenda items is eliminating the federal income tax. Is that even possible? Now, it might interest you to know that in America's short history, we have spent most of our history without a federal income tax. The federal income tax was created in 1913, the same year that they created the Federal Reserve. Wouldn't it be really cool if he got rid of the Fed? And when that federal income tax was created in 1913, it was supposed to be temporary, and it was only supposed to affect the rich. Well, how did that work out for us? So for all that time that we did not have a federal income tax, how did America make its money? How did they run government? Well, Trump reminds us of that in this clip.
America is going to be very rich again, and it's going to happen very quickly. It's time for the United States to return to the system that made us richer and more powerful than ever before. Do you know the United States in 1870 to 1913, all tariffs, and that was the richest period in the history of the United States, relatively speaking. In other words, relatively. And they set up the Great Tariff Commission of 1887, and this commission had one function: what to do with all the money that we took in. It was so enormous that they had no idea. It was a blue ribbon committee. It was set up 1887, and what to do with all of the money that we had. And again, Teddy Roosevelt was a beneficiary, because when McKinley was killed, he took over this vast sum of money, and he did all of those national parks and all of the other things. And I'm not knocking him, but he was given a vast amount of money, and that was all made through tariffs. We had no income tax. The income tax came in 1913. As I said in my speech last week, instead of taxing our citizens to enrich foreign nations, we should be tariffing and taxing foreign nations to enrich our citizens. Does that make sense, right?
So, yeah, the fact of the matter is, we probably can do without the federal income tax. Now, the government does need money, and I doubt that we get all of the money that we need from tariffs, but there are other ways that we make money. But before I get to that, remember a few years ago when Joe Biden and Janet Yellen announced that they're going to hire an additional 87,000 IRS agents? And they assured us it was only to go after the rich. But then eventually, Yellen had to admit that, yeah, you know what, we're going to pretty much be going after everybody. Well, Trump, in one of his executive orders, put a freeze on hiring those additional agents.
Day one, I immediately halted the hiring of any new IRS agents. You know, they hired or tried to hire 88,000 new workers to go after you, and we're in the process of developing a plan to either terminate all of them or maybe we'll move them to the border.
Go Trump! Now, did you know that in Karl Marx's Communist Manifesto, he listed the 10 most important steps for communism? And look at items 2 and 5. Do these look familiar? Number 2, a heavy progressive or graduated income tax. And number 5, a centralized central bank. Okay, I mean, to a large degree, our government has adopted communist ideologies. The truth is, the federal income tax is actually unconstitutional, but that doesn't stop them from collecting it. But instead of the IRS, on his first day in office, Donald Trump signed an executive order creating the External Revenue Service, the ERS. And of course, they will be responsible for collecting taxes through tariffs. For far too long, we have relied on taxing our great people using the Internal Revenue Service. I will create the External Revenue Service. Listen, there are other countries in the world who do not collect federal income tax. You know, Dubai is probably the most famous example of this. Dubai has no income tax, but they do make money through other sources. Okay, so this is the composition of Dubai's GDP in 2018. They get their revenues through wholesale and retail trade, transport and logistics, banking and insurance, manufacturing. So there are other ways of collecting revenue in order to run your government, in order to pay your bills. I don't know what the betting markets are saying about this. I don't know what the odds are of this actually happening. But I will say this. I'm confident in predicting that if Trump can pull this off, he will probably go down in history as America's greatest president. And I think that it will lead to an economic boom and prosperity for all that America has never seen before. And if you think this doesn't affect you because you're in a different country, listen, this will have ramifications throughout the world. This will set a trend. So it could affect you guys as well, wherever you are in the world. If you liked the idea of eliminating federal income tax, give this video a thumbs up. And if you don't mind, please like and subscribe anyway and support my channel. Ed Anderson, live from Minnesota, signing out.
Copy that.